Good evening, my name is Theodora. We are here at Producers Club for the second night of Albanian Film Week. With me, we have one of the directors that we watched the movie tonight. The name of the movie is The Superintendent, and the director is Roland Uruçi. Mirëmbrëma.
Mirëmbrëma.
Can you please tell us a little bit more about your movie?
All right. Well, my film deals with the sworn Albanian virgin, Burnesh, in Albanian, and it deals with them sort of assimilating into New York American culture, and how the perception is of that role and gender placement in this country.
How did you come up with this idea? We're usually introduced a superintendent that's actually a male figure.
Yeah.
And as I watched the movie, there is this super, and it comes out very strong, and it has like a male character. But in the end, you caught us with a surprise.
Well, yeah. Well, the funny thing is actually I'm a super son, so I'm one of those supers. So when my family came here from Dibër, we're Dibran, with our origin. And we came here. We're supers in Brooklyn, and so that sort of like fit with me, and it's always been part of my identity. Actually, I always brag about me being a super son. And my friend of mine, Blerta Alikaj, wrote a short story and dealing with the Burnesh as a super in New York City, and it sort of just clicked in. And I just knew the mannerisms, and I helped her with that aspect of it, of knowing these mannerisms of what it is to be a super, and what they expect. Like, they always expect a tip. They're always bothered if you call them after 6 o'clock. So these little things that I knew, these little nuances of mannerisms of how people I knew worked through the film.
At the end of the movie, we have actually the discovering of the character. One of the people acting over there, they actually thought that the superintendent was a male, and in the end, she finds out that she's a woman, and we have the superintendent actually telling her story, how she actually had to provide for her family and be the strong figure.
I hate you. Stay out. I don't need you anymore. I hate you. I hate you.
Does this thing still exist?
I think it does. I think it does. I mean, I researched some of this on my own before I even shot the film. It's always something that's intrigued me about our culture. And maybe Albania is not the only place, or Albanian lands, that have this. Maybe something similar in other countries. And that's fine. But I feel a little associated on the family and the value of the family. And it's a solution when you still want to maintain the family and the crops and the land and keep things together. And I know some people might see it as sexist, where it's only a male figure, but it's really just the role of leader. And there are certain traits they associate with a leader, be it fair or not. It's not really for me to judge that. But I find it is who's there to take care of. And that's the key figure. The key figure is problem in this film, is that she's always willing to take care of people. She always steps in to take care of the people who need the help. And that sort of pulls her along in the story.
Also, another aspect that it came out from the movie, it's the role of the women, that they can take charge even when, men are not around, which is a very powerful message.
Definitely. I actually tell all my family and friends that sometimes we get lost in being modern and having one world culture. My great-grandmother, I tell this story repeatedly, actually. My great-grandmother had 2 husbands. One was killed during the Bulgarian period in Dibër, and she married right away. And as a child, I never understood why. I said, how can you Mi thash nana madhe, pse ke djem me di emën ndryshe. I couldn't get it. I couldn't understand it. To me, it's impossible. She goes, well, did you want the Bulgarians to come and take your grandma? I needed a man in the house. So I made a decision. And that was my decision. And I always respected that. And that was, the beginning of me understanding that a woman's role is much stronger than we perceive it to be. And women throughout history, especially Albanian women, Albanian throughout the world, they're very strong people. And we just don't like to give them their credit sometimes. It's a shame.
Your movie was definitely different from the other ones. It was 18 minutes long. Yeah. My question to you would be, in the future, are we expecting any movies like longer?
I'm working on a few movies right now. I'm working on a film to be shot in a couple of months. It's also Albanian themed. I don't want to really get on the topic right now, but I think it's a very socially motivated film, dramatic with some humor. I always like to put a little humor in my films. I have another one scheduled to shoot in spring, and I've written a full-length screenplay, Paftuar.
Exo! Zgjohem nga gjumi dhe të jem në shtëpi. Sa do ketë që të jetë? Po të jem në shtëpi.
Tromokrates! Jastis! Malakas! Pustis! Jastis!
Ti je fajtor. Ti je fajtor që na ke sjell këtu. Ti. Askush nuk na don neve. Askush. Ideja jote ishte kjo.
Përse keni ardhur? Unë nuk kam vend për problemet në jetën time. Unë nuk kam kohë për ju. Pse?
Do të mësoj se si të survivesh në këtë vend. Se në botën reale duhet të ndryshosh që të mbijetosh. Kupton? Duhet të kuptosh këto koptrash. Hey! Asnjë në botë nuk e di se ku bie Shqipëria. Greqia ka të gjitha, ka kulturën, ka historinë, të gjitha din atë në botë. Idiot shtar.
Tuslene Albanus. Kordonia ta pjakshme. Metacja po aftus. Tuslepet e aftus. Tuslene otomanus. Podimata ta pjakshme. Me derma po aftus. Tuslepet e aftus. Tuslene Albanus. Kordonia ta pjakshme. Metacja po aftus.
And it's uninvited. It deals with a good friend of mine, Julian Biba. It was during the Albanian Civil War crisis in the 90s with the pyramid failures and everything. What he did as a young man was try to go to Greece to find a new beginning after he saw Albania sort of crumbling around him. What he expected was not what he found. What he found was torture and hardship and things that no man should go through. And he was 18, 19 years old. And it's a very traumatic thing for him. And even for him to share it with me moved me a great deal. My goal is actually to shoot in Albania, which is, it'll be my first film that I can shoot over there. I want to shoot with Albanian actors. I want to shoot it in my motherland, so to speak, Avdeon team. I want to give back a little bit. I feel my culture has given me so much. By giving me stories, by giving me characters that I can just pull out, and some amazing friends right now. In the last few years, I've met some amazing Albanian artists in New York City. Hey, people are just coming in all the time. All right. So that's great. That's the thing about being Albanian. Everybody walks into a room. So Producers Club is a great place, and I don't know if everybody knows about this, or everybody should know about this place. Is the people here at Producers Club support every Albanian imaginable. They've supported me for the 4 or 5 years that I've known them, maybe even 6, 7 years now that I know them. They're always inviting me to do things here. They're always supporting other actors. They're just wonderful. Fred and Ernie are some of the best guys in the world. And that's the start of me reaching all these Albanians. I've met so many, from Birta Alikaj to, I have an artist friend who does my set work, Altin Rizi, Ariot Mirta. I know so many actors too, Dritan Biba, Luan Begjetti, Elza Greda. These are all friends of mine that I really love to work with. And I want to move forward and do more things with them. And because they've given me so much, I want to give something back. How we fund it, I don't know. I'm trying to get the budget for the feature film. Hopefully, I can get some help from Kosovo, Albania, if they see it as a true artistic.
One of the good questions that I would have, who actually helped you as a sponsor to actually create your movie?
Superintendent, all me.
It was
All me. The way it came out was Birta wanted to do it, and I told her that I'll put up the money, and we'll work whatever. I'll put up what I have to, and she can share, because otherwise it would never get done. And that's I don't smoke and I don't drink, and I don't go to Atlantic City, so this is my only vice. I make movies, and I love it. I make it with my kids. My kids help me. They help me on set. They learn a trade. They learn art, and I make it with friends and donations of time. And whatever else I have to pay for, I pay for.
I understand. It's very hard. And I hope people in the future, they will actually come closer to you and sponsor you for your movies. And it's a pleasure to actually have seen your movies. And I wish you further success and eventually to shoot a movie in your motherland.
I hope so. Thank you for the time.
How do you think that your compatriots from Dibra, they actually received your movie?
Well, I'll tell you, I've had some people here view it, and I've had some people actually in Tetov and Dibra view it, and it's been amazing. They really love it. They love me telling an honest story. They love me taking chances with this. So it's refreshing to see that people are open to the subject matter and not being frightened by things. I think a lot of people are tired of the same old stories.
Do you think they would be intimidated by the idea that actually a woman can act like a man and she will take charge and actually make decisions?
Not my grandma. She would have smacked the crap out of you. So, listen, there are strong women in all of our lives, and we owe them everything. I think it's, like I said before, that people are lost in a global culture of what a woman's role is and what a man's role is. I think it's a lot deeper than that. And there are tremendously strong women, and there are some weaker men, and there's some really strong men and some weak women. And in this story, we found a really strong woman, and I loved finding it.
Well, I'm very happy to hear that actually this short movie that you actually came up with, it's well accepted from your compatriots in Dibra. I wish you all the best in your future achievements.
And thank you for Albanian American Vision for taking the time to interview me. It's a wonderful thing to be supported by your own.
Thank you so much for the interview. This is Theodora from Albanian American Vision. Have a good night.